The massive screen on the bridge of the Dominion flagship showed Earth in perfect detail. Admiral Stone's 4 eyes narrowed as he studied the blue planet. His gray skin wrinkled in what passed for a smile among his species. This would be the easiest conquest of his career. "Status report," he commanded, his deep voice echoing across the bridge. "My lord, scans show minimal orbital defenses," reported his second-in-command. "They have a primitive space station, a few communication satellites, and some basic weather monitoring systems. No energy shields detected. No weapon platforms found." Stone nodded, his long fingers tapping against the arm of his command chair. The humans had barely stepped into space. Their technology was centuries behind the Dominions. They still used chemical rockets to reach their own moon. Their military forces relied on projectile weapons and crude explosive devices. "Show me their military bases," Stone ordered. The screen shifted, displaying various military installations across Earth. Simple airfields with primitive jets, naval bases with ships that still floated on water, ground forces using tracked vehicles and wheeled transport. "Pathetic," Stone muttered. "They won't even know what hit them." But deep below the Swiss Alps, in a facility unknown to even most world leaders, things were very different. General Roberts stood before a wall of screens, watching as red dots appeared at the edge of the solar system. Each dot represented a Dominion warship. There were hundreds of them. "They took the bait," he said, turning to face the assembled military commanders from around the world. "Everything they're seeing is exactly what we wanted them to see." The room was carved from solid rock, protected by hundreds of meters of mountain above. The technology here wasn't primitive. Hidden quantum computers processed data from sensors that the aliens hadn't even detected. Holographic displays showed the true extent of Earth's defenses, carefully hidden from prying eyes. "Begin Protocol Omega," Roberts ordered. "Contact all hidden bases. Wake up the defenders." Around the world, things began to move. In the Mariana Trench, massive doors opened silently in the ocean floor. In the Sahara Desert, sand shifted as hidden hangar doors prepared to open. Under the Antarctic ice, power systems hummed to life in bases that officially didn't exist. Back on the Dominion flagship, Admiral Stone was finalizing his attack plans. "We'll target their major cities first," he explained to his commanders. "Show them our power. These humans have never faced an orbital bombardment. They'll surrender within hours." "My lord," a sensor operator called out, "I'm detecting some strange energy readings from the planet." Stone waved his hand dismissively. "Probably their power plants. Nothing to worry about." "But sir, these readings are..." The operator never finished his sentence. New alarms started blaring across the bridge. "Multiple energy signatures detected," another officer shouted. "They're coming from everywhere." Stone rushed to the main display. His eyes widened as new data poured in. Hidden installations were powering up all across the planet. The simple military bases they detected were disappearing, replaced by something else entirely. "Impossible," he whispered. Under the Swiss facility, General Roberts picked up the secure phone. "This is Roberts. Execute Phase 1. Around the world, the first layer of Earth's true defenses revealed themselves. Hidden energy shields shimmed into existence over major cities. Massive gun batteries emerged from mountainsides. And in orbit, the primitive satellites transformed, weapon systems coming online. "Send word to the fleet," Stone ordered, his voice shaking slightly. "Prepare for..." Another alarm cut him off. "My lord." Energy spike from Earth's moon. The moon's surface cracked open, revealing a massive cannon built into the lunar surface. It was aimed directly at the Dominion fleet. Stone realized, far too late, that he'd made a terrible mistake. The humans hadn't been defenseless at all. They had been waiting. The meeting room deep under the Swiss Alps buzzed with activity. Military leaders from around the world sat around a massive round table, their faces lit by holographic displays showing the Dominion fleet's position. Colonel Walker stood up, his weathered face serious. Ladies and gentlemen, what you're about to see has been kept secret for 60 years. The lights dimmed. A 3D projection appeared above the table, showing Earth with a complex network of hidden bases and defense systems. Project Guardian, Walker said, gesturing to the display. The real reason why half the world's military spending went missing over the last few decades. Gasps filled the room as the true scale of Earth's defenses became clear. Hidden bases under every major ocean, weapon platforms disguised as mountains, a network of satellites that could transform from simple communication relays into deadly weapon platforms. Those civilian space programs, Walker continued, they weren't just for show. Every rocket launch carried secret military cargo. While the public watched astronauts plant flags, we were building bases on the far side of the moon. The projection zoomed in on the moon, revealing vast underground complexes and weapon systems. But how did we get this technology? Asked one of the generals. Walker pressed another button. The image changed to show a crashed alien ship. Remember that meteor that hit Russia in 1908? It wasn't a meteor. We've been reverse engineering alien technology for over a century. In orbit, Admiral Stone's fleet was still reeling from the revelation of Earth's defenses, but they didn't know the half of it. Back in the underground base, Walker brought up new images. We have 500 ships hidden in underwater bases. Each one is equipped with engines and weapons reverse engineered from alien tech. Our pilots have been training in secret facilities for years. The room was silent as Walker continued. The aliens think we're primitive because that's what we wanted them to think. Every piece of primitive technology they saw was carefully placed. Every basic satellite was a cover. What about the weapons? Someone asked. Walker smiled. Remember that new particle physics lab that was supposedly studying dark matter? It was actually developing energy weapons. Those failed fusion experiments. We cracked fusion power 20 years ago. We just didn't want anyone to know. Suddenly, alerts flashed across all screens. The Dominion fleet was moving into attack position. They're coming, Walker said, his voice firm. But we're ready. General Roberts has already activated our lunar defenses. Our hidden fleet is powered up and ready to launch. A junior officer rushed into the room. Sir, the Dominion is broadcasting a demand for surrender. Walker looked around the room at Earth's military leaders. Should we show them our response? The answer was unanimous. Earth would not surrender. Begin Operation Thunderbolt, Walker ordered. Around the world, soldiers who had trained for years in secret facilities moved to their battle stations. In hidden mountain bases, pilots ran to their advanced fighters. Under the oceans, crews boarded ships that would make science fiction writers jealous. One more thing, Walker said, bringing up a final display. We didn't just copy their technology. We improved it. Our ships are faster, our weapons are stronger, and our resolve is unshakable. The room's mood had changed from concern to confidence. Earth wasn't some helpless planet waiting to be conquered. It was a carefully prepared fortress, ready for this exact moment. Send word to all commands, Walker ordered. Operation Thunderbolt begins in 30 minutes. Let's show these aliens why you don't judge a book by its cover. As the military leaders moved to their command posts, Walker looked at the tactical display one last time. Soon, the Dominion would learn that their easy conquest was anything but easy. Earth was ready for war, and the aliens had no idea what was about to hit them. Admiral Stone stood on his bridge, watching as the first wave of Dominion ships moved towards Earth. Begin the attack, he ordered. Target their largest cities first. 500 Dominion warships descended through Earth's atmosphere, their weapons charged, ready to rain destruction on the helpless humans below. Or so they thought. The first ship fired at New York City. The beam of energy shot down from the sky and crashed into an invisible wall. A shield of pure energy flickered into view, absorbing the attack like it was nothing. Impossible, Stone shouted. They don't have shield technology. But they did, and that wasn't all. From the mountains around every major city, hidden doors slid open. Giant gun barrels emerged, each one tracking a Dominion ship. They fired in perfect unison. The aliens watched in horror as their ships, built to withstand the strongest known weapons, were torn apart by Earth's defense systems. Blue beams of energy, more advanced than anything the Dominion had, cut through their shields like paper. "My lord," Stone's second-in-command shouted, "we're losing ships everywhere. These weapons, they're more powerful than ours." In the Swiss command center, Walker watched the battle unfold. "Launch the orbital defenders," he ordered. High above Earth, hundreds of communication satellites transformed. Solar panels folded away, revealing weapon ports. Weather monitoring devices turned into targeting systems. The primitive spacecraft the aliens had dismissed became a web of deadly weapons. "Sir," an alien officer called out, "Earth's orbital defenses, they're everywhere." Stone watched in disbelief as his mighty fleet was caught in a crossfire. Ground-based weapons below, hidden satellites above. Ships were falling from the sky like rain. "Pull back," he ordered. "Regroup at." A massive energy beam shot up from the moon, cutting through 3 Dominion capital ships in one shot. The lunar cannon, hidden for decades, was now fully operational. "How?" Stone demanded. "How did they hide all this?" The answer was simple: very, very carefully. On Earth, more surprises waited. When Dominion ships tried to land troops, they found more than primitive armies waiting for them. Soldiers in powered armor suits emerged from hidden bunkers. Tanks that could turn invisible rolled out of mountain bases. Aircraft that matched Dominion ships in speed and power launched from underground hangars. "Status report," Stone demanded. "My lord, we've lost 40% of the attack force. Their weapons are cutting through our shields. Our sensors can't track their stealth units. And," the officer paused, "we're detecting massive energy signatures under their oceans." In the Atlantic Ocean, huge sections of the seafloor began to move. Water rushed away as giant doors opened, revealing Earth's hidden fleet. Ships rose from the depths, their designs unlike anything the Dominion had seen before. Walker watched from the command center as humanity's full strength was finally revealed. "Send the message," he ordered. Every Dominion ship received the same transmission. "You thought Earth was defenseless. You thought we were primitive. You were wrong. These are our skies. This is our world. Leave now or face the consequences." Admiral Stone stared at the tactical display in shock. Half his fleet was destroyed or damaged. Earth's defenses were far stronger than anything they'd expected. And now a human fleet was rising from the oceans, ready to join the fight. "Orders, my lord," his second-in-command asked nervously. Stone watched as another lunar cannon blast destroyed a group of his ships. The humans hadn't just prepared for invasion. They had prepared to win. The real battle for Earth was about to begin. And for the first time in his life, Admiral Stone wasn't sure his side would win. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Commander Reeves stood in the largest military base humans had ever built. The underground complex stretched for miles, carved out over decades in complete secrecy. "All units prepare for surface deployment," she ordered through the base's quantum communication system. Similar orders echoed through hidden bases around the world. The massive underground chamber hummed with activity. Thousands of soldiers in advanced combat suits checked their weapons. Each suit was a marvel of engineering, combining alien technology with human innovation. They could fly, turn almost invisible, and protect the wearer from even the strongest alien weapons. "First wave, move out," Reed commanded. The chamber's ceiling split open, not to the sky, but to a network of tunnels leading to hidden exits across the continent. Troops moved out in perfect order, each group heading to their assigned exit points. Above ground, the Dominion forces were still trying to land troops. They had no idea what waited below. "Enemy dropships detected," reported Reed's tactical officer. "They're landing in Sector 7. Reed smiled. "Just as planned. Open the trap." When the alien troops landed, they found an empty city. Their scans showed no human defenders, no military units. It looked like an easy victory. Then the ground opened beneath them. Hidden doors in streets and buildings slid aside. Elevators that looked like normal subway stations rose up, carrying Earth's real army. The aliens found themselves surrounded by troops in powered armor, weapons they'd never seen before pointed at them from every direction. "What is this?" an alien commander asked as his forces were quickly overwhelmed. In the Swiss command center, Walker watched multiple battles unfold on the main screen. Status report on the underground forces. Commander Reed's units are engaging enemy troops in 12 major cities, an officer reported. The aliens have no defense against our ambush tactics. The aliens had expected to fight armies on the surface. Instead, they faced an enemy that could appear anywhere, strike from underground, and disappear just as quickly. Back in her command center, Reed directed the battle through the quantum network. Unlike normal communications, this system couldn't be jammed or intercepted. Every human unit could coordinate perfectly, while the aliens struggled to even talk to each other. "Mom," called out one of her officers. "The aliens are trying to use their scanners to find our base." Reed pressed a button on her command console. "Activate the shield walls." Throughout the underground complex, special panels in the walls powered up. Any scan from above would show nothing but solid rock. The aliens' most advanced sensors couldn't penetrate Earth's stealth technology. "Launch the ground attack units," Reed ordered. More hidden doors opened. This time, they revealed Earth's advanced ground vehicles. Tanks that could drive on walls, transport vehicles that could tunnel through solid rock, artillery pieces that could shoot around corners using bent space technology. The aliens found themselves fighting an enemy they couldn't track, couldn't hide from, and couldn't match in combat. "All units report success," Reed's tactical officer announced. "Enemy ground forces are retreating worldwide." In orbit, Admiral Stone received the shocking reports. His ground forces were being defeated everywhere they landed. The humans seemed to have an endless supply of troops and weapons, all more advanced than his own. "How deep do these bases go?" he demanded. The answer was very deep. Under every major city, mountain range, and desert, humanity had built its real military force. While the aliens watched Earth's surface armies and weapons, they never knew about the vast network below. Commander Reed looked at the battle reports with satisfaction. The underground army had done its job. Now it was time for the next phase. "Send word to command," she ordered. "The ground war is won. Time to take the battle to space." The real question was, were the aliens ready for even more surprises? Major Thomas stood on the bridge of the Earth ship Thunder, hidden beneath the Pacific Ocean. Around his vessel, hundreds of other warships waited in massive underwater hangars. Each one was a perfect blend of human engineering and reverse-engineered alien technology. "All ships report ready," his communications officer announced. Thomas nodded. "Send the signal to all fleet commanders. Operation Rising Storm begins now." Across Earth's oceans, the water began to churn. Massive doors opened in the seabed as humanity's hidden fleet prepared to launch. Each ship was bigger than the largest aircraft carrier, but they had remained completely hidden from alien scans. Admiral Stone watched from his command ship as new alerts flooded his screens. "What's happening down there?" "My lord," his sensor operator shouted. Multiple large objects emerging from Earth's oceans. The water exploded upward as Earth's ships rose into the sky. They didn't need runways or launch pads. They didn't even need traditional engines. Each one lifted straight up on pillars of blue energy, their anti-gravity systems making them look almost weightless. "Impossible," Stone whispered. "Their technology. It's better than ours." Major Thomas's voice broadcast to all Earth ships. "Remember your training. Everything we've practiced for decades happens now. Attack pattern Delta." The Earth fleet moved with perfect coordination. Unlike the Dominion's rigid battle formations, Earth's ships flowed like water, constantly changing position. The aliens couldn't predict where they would strike from next. First wave, engage, Thomas ordered. Earth's ships opened fire. But they didn't use normal weapons. Each shot bent space itself, bypassing the alien shields completely. The Dominion fleet's defenses, which had conquered 100 worlds, meant nothing. "My lord, we're losing ships everywhere," Stone's second-in-command reported. "Their weapons, they're impossible. They're firing through our shields." On the Thunder's bridge, Thomas watched the battle unfold. Launch the fighters. From each Earth ship, smaller craft emerged. But these weren't normal fighters. Each one could match a Dominion warship in power. Their pilots had trained in secret for years, using simulators built from stolen alien data. The space around Earth turned into chaos. Dominion ships found themselves under attack from all sides. Earth's fleet struck from below, while orbital defenses fired from above. The lunar cannon kept firing, each shot destroying multiple alien ships. "Status report," Thomas called out. "Enemy fleet is in disarray," his tactical officer reported. "Their formations are breaking. They can't coordinate their defenses." This was the advantage of Earth's quantum communication network. While the aliens struggled with signals that could be jammed or intercepted, Earth's forces shared information instantly and securely. "Secondary weapons online," the weapons officer announced. "Ready to deploy the gravity bombs." These were humanity's secret weapon, small devices that could create localized gravity wells, tearing apart any ship caught in their effect. The aliens had never seen anything like them. "Deploy gravity bombs," Thomas ordered. "Target their flagship groups." The bombs launched. In space, they looked like small black spheres. The aliens ignored them at first, until they activated. Suddenly, entire groups of Dominion ships were pulled apart by impossible gravitational forces. Admiral Stone watched in horror as his mighty fleet was torn to pieces. "How?" he demanded. "How did they develop all this?" The answer was simple. Earth had been preparing for this moment for over a century. Every alien ship that crashed, every piece of technology they could study, had been used to build something better. Major Thomas stood on his bridge, watching the battle turn decisively in Earth's favor. "Send word to command. The space battle is almost won. Prepare for final phase." The Dominion fleet was in full retreat now. Their supposedly easy conquest had turned into their worst nightmare. But Earth's forces weren't done yet. The real surprise was still to come. Admiral Stone's flagship shook violently as another Earth weapon struck its shields. Warning lights flashed across every console on the bridge. The mighty vessel, pride of the Dominion fleet, was in serious trouble. "My lord, shields at 20%, his defense officer shouted. "We can't take much more." Stone gripped his command chair as his ship shook again. Through the main viewer, he watched in disbelief as Earth's forces surrounded his remaining ships. Their formation was perfect. There was nowhere left to run. "Send emergency signal to Dominion Command," Stone ordered. "Request immediate reinforcements." His communications officer tried repeatedly to send the message. Nothing worked. "Sir, we can't get through. The humans are blocking all our channels." In the Swiss command center, Walker smiled as he watched the alien fleet's desperate attempts to call for help. Earth's communication jammers, another piece of technology they'd kept hidden, were working perfectly. "Target their flagship," Walker ordered. "Let's end this." Major Thomas's fleet moved into position around Stone's ship. Earth vessels that looked impossibly advanced for such a primitive species powered up their main weapons. The aliens were about to learn one final lesson about underestimating humanity. "All ships, prepare to fire," Thomas commanded. "Pattern Omega." On Stone's bridge, panic set in as dozens of targeting locks appeared on their sensors. The humans had them completely surrounded. Their weapons were aimed at every weak point in the Dominion ship's design. Weak points they shouldn't have even known about. "How do they know?" Stone wondered aloud. "How do they know so much about our ships?" The answer appeared on his main screen as Commander Reed's face appeared in a transmission. Did you really think those ships you lost over the years crashed by accident? We've been studying your technology for decades, learning your weaknesses, preparing for this day. Stone's 4 eyes widened in shock. The crashed ships, they were all shot down, Reed confirmed. Each one carefully chosen, each piece of technology collected and studied. We knew you'd come eventually. We made sure we were ready. In orbit, Earth's ships charged their weapons. The Dominion flagship's sensors showed energy readings far higher than anything their own ships could produce. Stone realized with horror that the humans hadn't just copied alien technology, they'd improved it. Final warning. Major Thomas's voice broadcasted to all remaining alien ships. Surrender or be destroyed. You have 1 minute to decide. Stone looked at his tactical display. More than half his fleet was destroyed. The rest were damaged or surrounded. Earth's orbital defenses and lunar cannon were still fully operational. And now he knew that every primitive system they'd seen had been a carefully planned deception. My lord, his second-in-command said quietly, "What are your orders?" For the first time in his long military career, Admiral Stone said words he never thought he'd speak. Send the surrender signal. Cheers erupted in command centers across Earth as the mighty Dominion fleet surrendered to the supposedly primitive humans. Walker allowed himself a small smile as he watched the alien ships power down their weapons. Send word to all commands, he ordered. Phase 1 complete. Prepare for Phase 2. Because this wasn't just about defending Earth. Humanity had bigger plans. The Dominion had awakened a sleeping giant, and now they were about to face the consequences. Stone sat in his command chair, watching helplessly as Earth ships surrounded his fleet. We thought they were defenseless, he said quietly. We were wrong. So very wrong. He had no idea that Earth's next move would shock the galaxy even more than their victory had. Because humanity wasn't finished surprising their alien visitors. Not by a long shot. 1 week after the Dominion fleet's surrender, Admiral Stone stood in Earth's main command center, still trying to process everything he'd learned. Around him, human leaders prepared for their next move. You still don't understand what really happened, do you? Walker asked the alien commander. Stone shook his head. Your technology. It's more advanced than anything we've seen. How? Walker pressed a button, and a hologram appeared showing a timeline of Earth's secret history. That first ship we shot down in 1908, it wasn't the first alien contact. We'd been watching the stars for centuries, preparing, learning. The hologram showed hidden bases across Earth, the moon, and to Stone's shock, other planets in the solar system. Mars colonies, hidden bases on Jupiter's moons. Stone's 4 eyes blinked rapidly, but our scans showed nothing. Exactly, Walker smiled. Just like your scans of Earth showed nothing. We've had cloaking technology for 50 years. Everything you saw was what we wanted you to see. Major Thomas entered the room, carrying a datapad. The fleet is ready, sir. All ships report full power. Stone looked confused. What fleet? We've seen all your ships already. Walker, Thomas, and Commander Reed shared a knowing look. No, Admiral. You've seen our defensive fleet. Now you're going to see our real ships. On screens around the room, new images appeared. Hidden doors opened on Mars, revealing massive shipyards. Bases on Europa and Titan powered up, showing fleets larger than anything the Dominion had ever built. Impossible, Stone whispered. Did you really think we'd keep all our ships near Earth? Reed asked. That would be tactically stupid. We have bases across the solar system, ships ready to defend every planet, every moon. And now, Walker added, ships ready to take the fight to the Dominion. Stone's legs wobbled. You're planning to attack the Dominion. Not attack, Thomas corrected. Liberate. We know about the other races you've conquered, the worlds you've taken. We've been watching, gathering intelligence, preparing. The hologram showed hundreds of Earth ships emerging from hidden bases across the solar system. Each one was more advanced than the best Dominion technology. Your invasion wasn't just defeated, Walker explained. It was the trigger we've been waiting for. Now the galaxy will know that humanity isn't just ready to defend itself. We're ready to help others fight back too. A new transmission appeared on the main screen. Earth ships were already moving through space, heading for Dominion-controlled worlds. But they weren't going as conquerors. We're offering every enslaved world a choice, Reed said. Freedom, independence, and Earth's protection. The age of the Dominion is over. Stone watched as reports came in from across Dominion space. World after world, seeing Earth's victory, rose up against their oppressors. Humanity's ships arrived not as invaders, but as liberators. Your mistake, Walker told Stone, wasn't just attacking Earth. It was assuming that a young species couldn't be wise, that a developing world couldn't be powerful, that appearing primitive meant being primitive. We've spent centuries preparing not just to defend ourselves, Thomas added, but to change the galaxy for the better. As Stone watched the reports of uprising and liberation flood in, he finally understood. Earth hadn't just beaten the Dominion. They had outplayed them in every way. While the aliens watched Earth's surface, humanity had built an interplanetary civilization in secret. The primitive planet that was supposed to be an easy conquest had turned out to be the most advanced civilization in known space. And now, everything was about to change. The age of human leadership in the galaxy had begun.